we are wrapping up the classes. We still have one for you guys for the Stress and Serenity workshop. Because that one we had to reschedule. So that will be coming up. You guys have been through the others, and I think you guys have completed going through the detox and the diet change.
Yeah.
And Crystal, you haven't started yet. You're going to.
There was a detox class.
But I don't remember it.
I'm wondering if did you guys miss that class for some reason?
I don't know. We maybe we were there and we don't remember.
Remember that's yeah.
So.
Okay. But you went through the detox, right?
Yeah.
We
Okay.
had on the computer Anila demonstrated a website about checking. Do you remember that? That was the detox class.
That I do remember that. It was in here.
That's right. It was in here. Excellent.
I do remember it now.
Excellent. All right. Well, you guys have been through the exercise class. You guys are familiar at least with the detoxification concept, trying to decrease exposure of the toxins coming into your body and to facilitate their exit out. The point of our detox was twofold. One, to help us to detoxify these things, to minimize them coming in, and also to identify food sensitivities by doing a strict elimination and then a re-challenge. And it was important to go back one at a time with the foods every 2 days to identify which foods might be causing a reaction. And so I think, you identified peanuts for sure, right?
And gluten.
And gluten. So these foods typically then, if you avoid for a period of 3 to 6 months, then generally you can tolerate in small quantities. Gluten is kind of our challenge food. And that is that, the reason for that is that there are a lot of people intolerant to gluten. Gluten is a protein that is contained in wheat and related grains. This protein is not fully digestible by the human GI tract. And for some people it's not an issue, for other people it leads to all kinds of immune-mediated problems. Everything that can be from stomach issues, abdominal pain, diarrhea, bloating, to allergy-type nasal symptoms, to neurologic symptoms, headaches. There's a balance disorder where you cannot maintain balance, you can't write, you can't walk, you have tremors. That is called gluten ataxia. That's a well-described entity. Anybody that has a neurologic condition that is unexplained, it's worth looking at gluten as a possible trigger. So this thing gets into the brain and causes issues. The reason for the ataxia is felt to be that the antibodies that your body generates, because it can't fully digest the gluten. So if it can't fully digest the gluten, some of the undigested particles make it into your system. Your immune system thinks, uh-oh, bad stuff, gotta attack, launches an immune response. Parts of the brain, cerebellum, which manages the balance part of our function, is similar in appearance to the immune system, to gluten. So the antibodies are formed to gluten, but they attack the cerebellum. Hence you end up with this cerebellar ataxia. And part of the problem with that is if you halt the degeneration early by identifying it, it's reversible, but if it's late and advanced, it becomes permanent, which is a nightmare. So gluten is one of those things that can cause lasting effects, and it's something that your gut may not tolerate. It's a common thing. I don't tolerate gluten. If I start eating it, my stomach's not as happy, and my joints start getting stiff in about 4 days. And I give it up, and then I get better. You can get away with that for a while. My aim is to watch that. If I would neglect noticing it and work right through it, then down the road I'm at a higher risk for developing a more substantial inflammatory immune-mediated condition. So my preference is not to go down that road and to just kind of cut it out. This way, if a little gets in my food, it doesn't bother me so much, but I'm not sitting there eating breads and, wheat-based pasta. So foods, the point of this elimination was to identify the triggers, and then you can eliminate them, and it can make a huge impact on symptoms in general. Pain, joint pains can go away. For some people, we've eliminated nightshades if there's inflammatory arthritis. That can be not an uncommon trigger. So the point of going and reintroducing was that. So at this point, I think some of you have completed that, some have not. And as we finish that and we transition into kind of a maintenance diet, what is it that we're going to eat long term? Because we don't always want to be on this elimination diet, and we don't need to be on this elimination diet long term. We've identified the sensitivities. We're going to leave those foods out for a period of time, and then we'll try putting them back in. So in the meanwhile, hopefully what we've done is shed our sugar cravings, shed our caffeine addiction, gotten away from alcohol. So we've also learned to eat more fruits and vegetables, because when you take away all the carbs and the processed foods, you've got to fill that gap with something. So you eat more salads, and you eat more vegetables, you eat more fruits, you incorporate some protein, protein shakes, protein from animal protein, different meats and such. And so it changes what you are taking in. And so what we want to do is kind of discuss some long-term things. Because if you go back to eating the way you were, you'll go back to being the way you were. So the whole idea was in these 21 days to change habits. It takes about 21 days to make a permanent shift. So if you can do it for 21 days, you continue. And if it wasn't a sensitizing food, then you eat it in practical amounts, and you keep all the nutrients in. So Kelly's going to talk about some substitutions and foods that you can put in that are healthy, and leave out some of the stuff that is a problem.
So a lot of things people struggle with long term, and staying on a diet such as this. I don't ever like to call it a diet because it's not a diet. We never ask you to count calories. We never eliminate one particular food group, unless of course you have a specific sensitivity or allergy to a specific food. Otherwise, you are going to want to have a balance of every food group within your diet. That's a good way to make sure you're getting all the micronutrients you need. You want to, there's a reason why they say eat the rainbow, because every color of food carries different nutrients with it. So hopefully what you've learned during this process, especially when you really needed to get creative during the detox stage, was to try different foods, to play around with flavorings, to experiment with different recipes, and hopefully you kind of found some things that are easier to make, don't take a lot of time, but are much healthier for you. So now that we can start to add stuff back into our diet, like Dr. Kadir says, we don't want to go back to our old habits. And where people seem to fall or have trouble is when they go on vacation, there's a party, there's a potluck, everyone worries about falling off track. They're really good when they're home, but if they have to go out to eat, if they're at a work conference, and they're eating out for every meal, how do I maintain this sort of diet while I'm vacationing or at work conferences or potlucks or what have you? So we designed this healthy food swap list, which is going to help you make better decisions when you're out and when you're faced in those situations. This is how I eat. This is how I incorporate things into my diet and make easy switches. So when you're at a restaurant or at a friend's house or what have you, you can always replace any bread products with lettuce. And you can do lettuce wraps. You can eat the protein without any bread at all. So say you're at a potluck, the big things to have there are burgers, hot dogs, barbecue, whatever. Those are good protein sources as long as they're not covered in a ton of sauce and marinades. They're good protein sources, and I only say that because a lot of the sauce and marinades have loaded sugar in them, and we want to stay away from any added sugar. As we learned, we want to stay away from those artificial sweeteners, especially high fructose corn syrup. Any of those things are going to trick your body into actually craving sweets rather than satisfying that craving. So we want to stay away from any of those added sugars. So a lot of that you're going to find in sauces and salad dressings and stuff when you're out and about at friends' places or restaurants. So you can always order anything without the bread. When I go out to dinner, you know how some places will give you bread as part of your entree. I just say don't even bring it, because if it's at the table, I'm going to be tempted to eat it anyway. So I just want to avoid that temptation altogether, and I tell them not to bring it. A lot of the salads they have at restaurants, watch how they're prepared, because some of the restaurants will use regular iceberg lettuce for their salads, but they also have they'll have a specialty kale salad, or they'll have a salad with dark greens like spinach or chard. You can ask them, and I do this all the time, and no one ever looks at me funny or complains. You can ask them to make those salads with that healthier lettuce. So you can say, I want this salad but make it with all kale, or I want this salad but use all spinach for it. That's an easy way to get a healthier option into your meal, so that you're not just having regular iceberg lettuce with it, because that doesn't carry any nutrient value whatsoever with it. But at least if you're getting those dark leafy greens, you're getting the fiber from that too. So that's a much better option for you. So don't be afraid to ask the restaurants to say, can you make that with all spinach for me? Salad dressings is another big kicker, that it carries a lot of added calories. So if you're at the restaurant, ask for the dressing on the side, and stick with dressings like simple olive oil, or lemon, fresh lemon, if you squeeze it on top of a salad, is great. Salsa is a good alternative to a dressing, because that's usually just vegetables, you know, within the salsa. If you're at a restaurant, watch it. They do put a lot of salt in their salsa, so kind of watch the other food that you're going to order with it. But that's a good option for a healthier salad dressing on top. But a simple olive oil is nice. Most restaurants always have olive oil. Stick with more of a vinaigrette if you're going to have a salad dressing. So that takes care of sort of your appetizer or your salad, and then your entree comes. And with your entree, you should be having some sort of protein with it. Again, you can always ask for any sauce on the side. Usually when you're in restaurants and you're going out to eat, just know they load all of their food with a lot of salt and butter just to make it taste better. Or that's what most people think. I don't like all that salt and butter. So you can ask for anything that they put on the protein on the side, and that's how you can better minimize the amount that you're getting when you eat it. Or you could ask them to just have it unprepared with that whatever sauce or topping they might put on it. So make sure when you order your entree you have a protein, and then you ask for veggies. Veggies is usually always an option for a side. Sweet potato is a good side too, if you want to do a sweet potato for a side. But you want to stick with a protein and some veggies still for your dinner. You don't want to get mac and cheese or potato or what have you. You usually have some options for a side. Even if it's a restaurant that has a prepared entree that says it comes with a specific side, you can always substitute it out. So ask, instead of that side, can I have a salad? Or instead of that side, can I have some steamed veggies? Or whatever their sides that they have at the restaurant that are a healthier option. So that's always a good idea. A lot of the restaurants these days, instead of pasta, they're offering zucchini noodles. So if there is a dish that you like that's a pasta dish, you can have zucchini noodles instead of pasta, and then you're still getting all the flavor you would with pasta, all that sauce and flavor that you like with it. A lot of places are also substituting mashed cauliflower for mashed potatoes. So, or doing a cauliflower puree instead of mashed potatoes. That's a very good option to substitute when you have that mashed potato feeling. The mashed cauliflower is great to make at home too. And you can season it like you would any mashed potatoes. You could add some garlic to it, add any kind of herbs that you want to it that'll give you the flavoring as if you're having mashed potatoes. For pasta, spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles are great. If anyone hasn't made spaghetti squash, it's super easy to make. You can flavor it just like you would any kind of spaghetti. There's even an Alfredo sauce. If you Google it, there's an Alfredo sauce that's made using cauliflower. So you could still have Alfredo pasta, but it's not the heavy cream Alfredo sauce. Its main base is cauliflower. So you can look that recipe up too. But you just want to watch the things that you're eating. You want to make sure with every meal you have protein. So in the morning, eggs are great for breakfast. I have an egg sensitivity, so I have to stay away from eggs. So I do oats in the morning. I change the flavor of my oats depending on whatever fruit I want to add to it. I never get the packaged oatmeal. I always just buy the quick oats and then add my own fruit to it. I add cinnamon to it, that'll sweeten it up a little bit. And I also put protein powder in it, and that's where I get extra protein in my breakfast, since I'm missing out on the protein I would get from eggs. Protein shakes are great for breakfast if you need a breakfast on the go. Those are great. Lunch and dinner, again, you want to think about having your protein and your veggies as your main meal source. Now, when I'm on vacation, I'm just like any one of you, and I like to taste the flavors of where I'm at, and I want to enjoy myself. And if I want to have dessert, I can have dessert. I don't limit myself on anything, but what I do limit myself on is how much I consume. So usually dinners is the one that I like to indulge on. So if I know I'm going to indulge on dinner when I'm on vacation, I make sure my breakfast and lunch are healthier. So my breakfast is my normal routine. It's my oats in the morning. Lunch will be some sort of salad. And then dinner is where I indulge when I'm on vacation. And that's where I have whatever I want to have, and I'll have a little piece of dessert too. I don't do dessert every day I'm on vacation, so I just watch the amount that I have and the quantities that I'm having. But I kind of use that 80-20 rule, where 80% of my meals are healthy, and then that other 20% I'm having fun and enjoying what I want to have, because you can't limit yourself on everything, and nobody's going to be perfect, and nobody's going to stick to a diet like this and sustain it for the rest of their life. I mean, you still get to have the foods you love and the foods you want to have. You just need to manage it a little bit better and not have it as often and time it out appropriately. So you can still enjoy yourself when you're on vacation. I certainly do. I still exercise every day I'm on vacation, and I just wake up in the morning, get my workout in, because most hotels have a workout center. If they don't, I'll go for a run outside, go for a walk outside, just do something to stay active while you're on vacation. And then you can have your 2 healthy meals and enjoy yourself at dinner. So don't feel like you have to be stuck when you're on vacation and you can't have fun and you can't indulge in the local flavors. You certainly can. Don't ever limit yourself. When you're at a potluck, what I like to do is, if it's something, where everybody brings a dish, I know majority of the time it's not going to be healthy food. Everyone likes to bring their best dish, which is usually covered in heavy creams or butters or anything like that. So, there's usually a protein source at those potlucks, so you're good on that. So when I'm bringing a dish to a potluck, is a big green salad, because I know that's something healthy that I can have. I'll add whatever protein source happens to be there as my protein, and then I'll have this big salad with a bunch of cut up veggies in it. Everyone usually loves to see that anyway, because everyone feels guilty about overindulging at these kind of events anyway, so they like to see that there's some green salads, and then they feel a little bit better about all the other stuff that they're eating and drinking there. So what I do is I bring something that I know is healthy and I can eat. It doesn't have to be a big green salad. Maybe it's the mashed cauliflower that you bring, and that's a side for you. But just make sure whatever you're bringing is something healthy, and You'll know you'll get some kind of protein there, so you don't necessarily need to bring that. If you don't know what sort of main entree they're going to have there, or if everyone's bringing a main dish, then bring a healthier main dish. Maybe you bring lasagna that's made with zucchini noodles instead of pasta. That's a great option. So when you're going to these events, just think about whatever you're bringing, let that be a healthy option that you know you can eat. I lost my train of thought for a moment. There was something else in addition to that. The other thing is don't go to these events hungry. So I'll always snack beforehand, so I'm not starving when I get there. Because if I get there hungry, I'm going to eat everything in sight, because everything's going to smell delicious, and it's going to look so good, and I haven't ate since lunchtime, and now it's 7 o'clock, and so I'm starving, and I'm just going to eat way more than I need to. So have a little snack before you go. And make sure, again, that snack is healthy. So what I usually do is I'll have veggies and hummus before an event like that. It has a lot of fiber in it. It's going to keep me fuller a little longer. And then I'll bring a healthy food option with me as well. And then I can kind of enjoy myself a little bit better. So don't ever go to these places hungry.
So healthy food isn't boring food, and it doesn't taste bad either.
Mhm.
And as you get used to it, it's just that we're not used to it. We're used to eating a very limited number of foods, and then we keep rearranging them, but we've got to incorporate more fruits and vegetables. That decreases your cancer risk, decreases your diabetic risk, decreases your Alzheimer's, neurodegeneration risk. It is of tremendous benefit, and so food is a lot more than just for the taste. Certainly we want it to taste good, but it needs to take care of us too. And when we're eating, plain wheat pasta with Alfredo sauce, and we're not doing anything green or orange or red or purple, we're not getting the antioxidants, and we're not going to get benefits from it. And over time, our body's going to degenerate.
Can I ask a quick question? When you talked about the iceberg lettuce, can you even ask for romaine? Is that any better? If
Yes,
you have
that's
that?
even better than iceberg. If they don't have spinach or kale,
Right.
go romaine. Yeah, that's even better than the iceberg.
Okay.
But I would go with any kind of dark green lettuce
Okay.
when you're out. The other thing, a lot of people like to use mayo as a condiment. Another good alternative to using mayo is avocado. Just put avocado on your sandwiches or your burger. That's a great option. Condiments too. Mustard is a great condiment to use. Keep in mind the ketchup, especially the ketchups that you're going to have in restaurants, are all going to have high fructose corn syrup in it. So you want to stay away from that when you can. So mustards, mayo, sprouts are great on burgers and sandwiches. You can add veggies into just about anything you cook. When I cook chili, I'll always cut up some squash and zucchini and just throw that in there too. Same thing with pasta sauce. If you're making like a bolognese sauce, throw some squash and zucchini in there too. That's a great way to add some veggies into a meal. So you can get a little bit creative with this stuff. On the back, so here, this sheet has just some good healthy swaps. On the back are a couple different healthy dessert recipes that are super easy to make. These are the easy cookies. There's really honestly just 2 ingredients for these cookies, and then you can add whatever you want into it. So these cookies are made with bananas and oats. You just bake it at 350 for 15 minutes, and you can add anything you want to it. So I'll add pecans or walnuts or something. I'll add that to it. I'll add cinnamon to it because I love cinnamon. But you can get creative with what you want to add. The base of your cookie is bananas and oats, and then you could add carob bits or seeds or unsweetened cocoa powder, raisins, whatever you have, and they're great. It's a great healthy cookie. The other thing, if you ever see any recipe like this that uses bananas as a base, you can change the flavor of whatever that happens to be by using pumpkin instead of banana or unsweetened applesauce instead of banana. Because as you Google and Pinterest some fun little different recipes like these, you can substitute these. These obviously will have sort of a banana undertone to it, But if you replace it with pumpkin, then it becomes a pumpkin cookie. Replace it with apple, it becomes more of an apple cinnamon cookie. So those are just some easy, fun little swaps that can change the flavor of different things that you're trying. And then banana ice cream is a great alternative to regular ice cream. You just freeze bananas and blend them. It's as easy as that. You don't have to do anything else to it. Freeze the bananas, put it in a blender, blend it to the consistency that you want, and you can add healthy things into it. I like to add peanut butter in it because I love peanut butter and bananas, but you can add unsweetened cocoa powder, you can add carob bits again, you could do unsweetened coconut, you could do nuts, whatever you want to add into it. Little carob bits you could add into it. Anila likes to add kiwi, which is a flavor I never would have thought to mix kiwi and banana, but she says it's fantastic and amazing. I haven't tried it myself, but she loves it. So get creative with those two things, and you can change the flavor of them just by what you add to them. You can always add flax, again, to any of these recipes too, and that's getting your extra fiber in. Add flaxseed to your oatmeal in the morning. That's another way to get your flaxseed in. So you're not drinking it, because some people, I don't like to drink flaxseed. I think the consistency and taste doesn't work for me. So I always add my flaxseed to food rather than drinks.
I can understand that.
Yeah, yeah. So think about croutons. Some people on their salads, I always, when you're at a restaurant, tell them to leave the croutons off. But if you're making a salad at home to add that nice crunch, just use like sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds. Those are great toppings to give you that crunch. I'm a big kind of crunch person. I just need a crunch. So those are good alternatives to add instead of the croutons. Anytime you're out at a restaurant and there's soups that you're interested in, try to stay away from the creamier soups. Those are just going to be heavier in calories. So stick with soups that are more broth-based. And again, by now you should all have at least tried bone broth or know how to make it or where to get it if you need it. And you can make different soups and stews with the bone broth as your base. That's actually great. You just add a bunch of veggies to it. You can even add some meat to it, and all of a sudden you've got a beef stew. So, or you could add chicken to it. I have a great white chicken chili recipe that's completely healthy and amazing, and I make it in my crock pot, and it makes a ton. So I always freeze some, so it's easy to reheat when I need a quick little meal. So if anyone's interested in that recipe, I'll give it out. It's so good, so good.
We're
So
interested in all recipes.
good, good.
Anything.
And instead, usually people will top their chilies with sour cream. Instead of using sour cream, use Greek yogurt, just plain Greek yogurt, and that is much healthier than using sour cream and tastes just as great. So, and that'll give you a little more creamier consistency to that chili as well. So, there's even a black bean brownie dessert recipe. I know some of you have probably
They're really
seen
good.
it before. They're actually fantastic.
Oh, I never tried it.
Yeah. Have you guys been to BAM yet? It's a restaurant.
Wow.
You have. Okay. If you're going to go out to eat, that's a great option to eat at. You can do it, you can do it for lunch or dinner. They even have, I made me think of it because the black bean brownies, but they make black bean brownies there, so if you haven't had it, you could try it. But their menu is all organic ingredients and locally grown, so they're a great restaurant for healthy food. If anyone's, I probably shouldn't say this, but for those of you that can eat, that Dr. Kittier has said it's okay to add this back into their diet. I'm a big pizza fan and I love pizza. There's a place called Soul Pie Pizza that has a sprouted grain crust pizza. So if you're ever going to indulge, and that's when I indulge, is when when I have pizza, that's an indulgence for me. So when I have my indulgence of pizza, I get it from Soul Pie Pizza. They're all organic, locally grown ingredients, and they have a sprouted grain crust. The sprouted grain crust you have to ask for, and it does cost a little bit more, but it's much healthier than any other pizza crust that you'll have. So they're
Have you had-
they're in North Canton.
Have you had cauliflower crust?
I have. I've made cauliflower crust pizza.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
not bad at all.
No, it's really good. You can
Yeah,
make cauliflower. You can make breadsticks with that
Yeah.
cauliflower too,
Huh.
and just instead of the crust, you know, it's like a breadstick, and you dip it in.
It tastes alright.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. The key is like, did you make it yourself, or did you
We
try
made
it
at
somewhere?
Our daughter's house.
Yeah, yeah. The key is
Yeah,
to make sure you get the moisture out of it. That's
Yeah.
the big key.
Had turkey, pepperoni.
Yeah, yep.
Good.
It's great, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, so
So-
if gluten is not an issue for you and you're gonna consume wheat, the best thing to do is the sprouted grain, right? Otherwise known as Ezekiel,
We
right?
tried that, that's the worst tasting bread I ever tasted.
Bob.
Well, it is.
Throw a little avocado on it.
I
If
don't
it
like
helps.
avocado.
You don't like avocado?
I don't either.
I don't, she does.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that will help. Yes, they make wraps with that, which are also really, really good.
But you might actually like better than the bread.
Yeah, you
What,
might
the
find those.
Ezekiel makes the wraps?
There are Ezekiel
Oh, okay.
wraps or sprouted grain wraps.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the benefits are you have more protein, you have more fiber, and you have less lectins. Lectins are little components in grains and legumes that are hard for us to digest. Okay, so what happens when they sprout a grain is they're allowing that grain, which is a seed, to start to germinate. And when it does that, it kind of lets down its defenses and the lectins start to break down. So it's easier to digest. So if you're not going to be long-term gluten-free, then that's the kind of grains you want to consume. What's happened with wheat is they have magnified the gluten content. Gluten is what makes dough doughy. So everybody likes that doughy, soft bread. So that they have bred wheat to contain more gluten. The problem is we can't digest it. So it's nice and doughy, but it's hard on the gut. And then it leads to inflammation. Then it leads to arthritis, and then it leads to God knows what else. Okay.
What is your take on margarine versus butter? Or neither one of you think are any good?
Yeah, I think now everybody pretty much agrees margarine's not a good thing. Anything that says partially hydrogenated, you should throw in the trash because it's going to go straight to your arteries and clog them up. That is what we call trans fats. Trans fat's a type of fat. It's actually banned in the European Union because it's so bad for you. Okay, it was not banned here. So anytime they hydrogenate, so if you pick up a package of food and it says partially hydrogenated, just put it back. Okay, so margarines are out. Ghee is clarified butter, Ghee. That's actually a good thing to use. Coconut oil is a good thing to use. If you like the coconut flavor, it works out great.
And that ghee is strong, so you don't need a lot of it
Yeah.
when you're using it.
It's a good thing, it's expensive.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's strong.
That's right.
It's like it's almost like a concentrated butter, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. So, and then I don't know if anyone's tried to do the baked or the sweet potato fries. If anyone's a big French fry person, have you tried those sweet potato fries or
Yeah.
tried to do that on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah, play around with the
It's like it.
seasoning.
Yeah, bake them. Don't fry
Yeah,
'em.
bake them. Just slice it up, bake it. Rosemary's really good on those sweet potato fries. Cinnamon again makes it sweeter, so
Do you put coconut oil down on the pan then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's,
yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and herbs are just full of nutrients. You know, and we don't have much outdoor weather here, but you can grow herbs in pots inside.
Inside, yeah.
And it is just incredibly good to have those. You know, just little simple things. And the amount of nutrition you get out of them is tremendous. Ginger is another really great one. Right? Now, you guys have hopefully been through the binder. There are, instructions in there about sprouting grains and how best to eat garlic and all that kind of stuff. So that, if you haven't read through it, or if you did, reread, because you'll pick up on additional
Yeah.
things. Okay.
Now, I bought some of the garbanzo bean
Mm-hmm.
pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Did not like.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. So,
You have to realize that there's a little taste adjustment.
yes.
It's not going to be identical to that heavily gluten pasta. But once you start eating it, then you like
Yeah,
it.
that's why I liked it, because it was similar enough.
Yeah.
Because
Close
pasta,
enough.
you know, it's like, that's an
It
addiction.
gives you that consistency,
So it's like,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
we need
didn't
this.
cook it well enough.
The other thing is, with gluten and with casein from dairy and cheese is very high in casein, it's a protein in milk. Both of these proteins, again, because we cannot fully digest them, we partially digest them. So little fragments of these proteins are found in our systems, in the blood and so forth, and they actually have a morphine-like effect. So these little peptides, little segments of these proteins are called caseomorphins and gluteomorphins because they are morphine-like. So people really love their cheese. They're addicted to it.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the bread. It's an
Mhm.
addiction. It's
Yeah.
a physical
Yeah.
addiction.
Mhm.
And so the 21 days, if you can stay off of it. Now after that, again, if you start eating it, the addiction will come back.
Yes.
So you kind of have to stay
Yeah.
clear of it
Mhm.
if you have that kind of an addiction to it.
Mhm. I know.
You've been there, done
Yes, yes.
All right?
Yes, I know
I'm already
exactly what I
addicted to a lot
can't
of things.
bring back, yeah.
Food.
And another sweet treat that's nice, especially this time of year, because it's apple season, is just bake your apples in the oven and put some cinnamon on it, and that's a little nice treat too. And then it's like the apple pie filling without all that sugar and
Yeah.
heavy.
And cinnamon
Yeah.
is really good for you too.
Mhm.
So,
The chickpea pasta is a little heartier, so you'll find you don't even eat as much of it
No,
either.
you
Yes.
don't.
See,
Yeah.
that's what we
Yeah,
didn't
it takes
like.
a little bit longer to cook, you know.
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
does.
But,
Yeah.
but,
yeah, yeah. No, I thought it was great even for my kids, because my kids, I didn't even tell them it
You
was
didn't tell them
different,
it was
and they
Yeah.
chowed down. But normally they love pasta, and they'll have loads of it if I didn't stop them. But here they stopped much sooner than they would have if it was regular pasta, and I thought, yes, that's an even better
But look at the
bonus.
protein and fiber content.
Yeah,
Hugely different.
yeah. So it was much more
So-
filling.
Yes, so yes, it is different, and but it is similar,
Mhm.
and it is so much better for you that you really have to look at food not just to please your little taste buds, but what is it doing for all of me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to look at that, right?
And
Food
I-
is medicine.
I think that's a new concept for everyone.
Yes,
It really is. That's not, we've never been taught that.
yeah. I mean, and it really is, and I think about that every day when I get tempted
Mhm.
to veer off course. I think about why I'm eating the way I'm eating, and it goes back to my why and my motivation and why I want to stay on this path to begin with, you know? So I think of it as fuel, as medicine, and as a way for me to not leave my kids any sooner than I have to. So it comes back to my why, and that's, if it's strong enough and your motivation is strong enough, it'll beat any of those cravings. So think of food as fuel and medicine.
Well, I told Kay, you can look at you and Elena, and you're all living life, and you all look good. So that's, if you're teaching something, you gotta live the
You
life.
gotta live
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Because I'm just like you, I get tempted. Like that's what I said, when I'm on vacation, yeah, I'm going to have some dessert. Yeah, I'm going to indulge and have a nice dinner. But then I make sure my other meals that day are healthier, and I make sure I still get my exercise in that day. And then I don't feel guilty. You shouldn't feel guilty. You should never feel guilty about, having a sweet treat here and there. It's when it becomes a habit and you're having it and consuming it too much that's a problem. But
And then our serving sizes in this
Yeah.
country are
Yes.
huge.
Size,
The
portion
cheesecake
control.
slice, it's like 2,500 calories in one slice of cheesecake. It's almost a half a pound
Oh my gosh.
that it adds onto your body. It's just, you don't need that much. If you need a little, yes, you're out for a nice dinner, you're on vacation, probably a fourth of that slice is adequate.
we always share it. Yep, so share it. Get it and share it with the table.
You have to share it with somebody else, cause I don't even like cheesecake.
I don't either. I don't get cheesecake. I
He's
don't
not
like it.
addicted to that tasty
No, but he's addicted to every other sweet. I'll tell you that.
Now, if it's ice cream or brownies, I'm all over it.
If you can't eat the nightshades, what do you do to make the vegetable pasta more palatable?
There is a plum, it's called umegushi plum or something. It is I think you can get these in Chinese Oriental grocery stores. This is a good substitute for tomato, because you're looking for a tomato-like thing, right? So this particular type of plum is the only substitute or similarity to a tomato. Otherwise, you would make like a garlic type of sauce, something
Garlic
with
and
garlic and olive oil and that sort of thing, and go
Okay.
along that
It's
line,
really good.
Yeah.
which is really good.
So,
Yeah.
and
Herbs.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
lots
just
of herbs.
Isn't that what they call the Asioli or something like that in some
Yeah,
restaurants?
something like that.
So what did you call the plum?
It's umegoshi, and I'm probably not saying that right. It starts with a U-M, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Okay, but we can track that if you want to get a little bit of that tomatoey. And again, what we want to do is prove, are these foods the inflammatory trigger? And if they are, then it will make a huge impact to get them out of the diet. Okay, so
Sounds good.
we really want to know the sensitivities. And again, many of them will reverse after a period of time. So a lot of that is not permanent. You've got to heal the gut in between, and then the gut can tolerate it. Right? So, but if we keep inundating it with, that doughy bread, that makes it hard, right?
Well, you don't even know with the genetic modification, what are you really adding to your cells?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
you're using part of that to build
Yeah.
your body, and it's like, what is it doing?
Which I guess then leads me to, we recommended some videos for you guys to watch. Can you tell me who's watched what, or what did you think?
I watched the first couple that Food
Food Matters.
Matters, that was amazing,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I think
Food
Fed Up
Inc.
or
was
something.
another one.
Fed Up. Yeah,
Fed
that's
Up.
another one.
Yeah, I
And
don't remember where
then-
they're at now. but
Genetic Roulette was on the GMOs.
I didn't see that
You didn't
yet.
see that one yet.
Okay.
But that one you can get on YouTube, the complete
Oh, okay.
documentary. Yeah. These are really good because they really explain that principle.
Mhm.
So if you haven't had a chance, please do. And I am thinking most of them will be available at the library. Most of them are on Netflix.
That's
Okay.
right. So-
And then, as I said, some of them are on YouTube. If you have trouble locating it, then give Tana a call and she'll figure it out for you as to the best way. But these really help you to understand all of the details and reinforce, the kind of things we're talking about.
And especially if anyone's having trouble making that transition to seeing food as fuel or medicine, these certainly are powerful
Right.
and eye-opening to trigger your brain to look at food differently.
We'll have to watch that with Donna and Dave.
Yeah. It's quite powerful.
Yeah. Everybody's been to exercise class and had some workout, right? You had a first one today,
A second,
second today.
yeah, but mostly, he's starting me real slow.
Yes,
Just trying to get it stretched out, because he said if I go too hard, it'll
that's right.
come back,
Yeah, and stretching is really fundamental, and that's something you're gonna wanna do when you wake up and go to bed.
I keep trying to remind myself when I watch the dog and the cat. They
Yeah.
both
Yes.
stretch every time they
Oh,
get up.
that's me too.
Me, I
Yes.
just jump out of bed and try to
And
walk,
yes.
and it's like, I gotta learn to do this.
5
Yeah.
minutes, give yourself 5 minutes when you wake up and 5 minutes when you go to bed. Makes a huge impact, and it is really key. And as you exercise, we talk about there's 4 components, 4 things we want to get out of exercise, right? You want to aerobic fitness, which is good for your heart and lungs circulation, right? And I think we've if you've read the exercise section, it talks about the importance of intervals. I'm sure Ryan reviewed that, okay? Rather than jogging or walking fast at the same pace, you'll get a lot more benefit if you can crank it up
Mhm.
and slow it down and crank it up and slow it down. You can really cut the exercise time by manyfold, and the benefits just escalate tremendously. So it's crucial that you do that. Resistance with, muscle building is key. Otherwise, as we age, our muscles just atrophy. And so you have to actively resist. So you can run until you're blue in the face, but if you don't do resistance, you're not going to build muscle. So that flexibility, the stretching is key.
And
You
just think
always
of
wanna
it, that's
stretch.
gonna speed up your metabolism just by gaining muscle itself.
Oh, yeah.
So let that fuel you and
Absolutely.
help push you and to get that resistance training in.
Your basal metabolic rate goes up when you have more muscle. You'll be eating a lot more food because your body will burn a lot more without even moving. Just because that muscle is going to burn a lot more than the fat. And so you want to improve your percent body fat. We want to lower that. We want to have more muscle. And that adjusts everything. It adjusts your blood sugar metabolism, takes away the diabetic risk, knocks down cholesterol. Okay, so if exercise were a pill, it would just be, all the drug companies would be all
Oh,
over it.
yeah.
So the benefits are tremendous. The other thing you want to focus on is balance.
Mhm.
Okay, falls as we age are just catastrophic. So, everything very, just simply stand in a corner and stand on one foot. If you can't quite lift the other one off the ground, raise it up and just barely touch your toes to the floor. As you do that, you'll build strength and you'll improve balance, then you'll be able to do it. Okay? So just that very simple little bit. You don't have to do the tree pose with,
Yeah.
the leg bent and up on your thigh. You don't have to do that. You can just lift it up wherever you are. The idea is to progress. So, the way I think we've explained and laid it out is if you will give 3 hours per week to exercise, your quality of life and your length of life probably will improve dramatically. And so that's not a lot. So I think that's something you want to put on your calendar.
Yes.
It's key, and without it, the progress won't happen. So then the Stress to Serenity workshop, I think you all will also find very beneficial, and we're going to talk about how that impacts everything else.
I need that.
We all do, right?
Yes.
And everyone has that date, right? I gave you all the
October.
October schedule, so that if you can't make if there were other classes you weren't able to come to, you can certainly
Absolutely.
come to the next one. So
Absolutely. Okay.
hopefully you all have those still. If not, let us know.
Yeah.
Tana or myself can get you a copy.
Okay. So, and then the video helps for those that can't make it and stuff, so that way they don't miss out on what we had, and then they can always come next time.
So will that be on the web somehow, or?
We're gonna put it on the, probably on YouTube, I think, and then we can send you a link if you want to watch the whole thing, and then you watch that as well. And we have 2 others that'll need that. Any other thoughts? Anything else?
How's
we can-
everybody doing in the program?
Northern detox is over. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this will seem like an easy transition,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a much better
That
time.
was amazing to me, to find out what foods,
Did
I
you
was
have some
actually-
sensitivities?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like almost an instant headaches all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Huh.
just,
And was it from something you ate a lot of?
yes,
That was me too. I was
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah. I
yes,
had no idea.
yeah. And it is, and it's the addictive stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
the bread, it's the sugar, it's So it's like, okay, I can't do this. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay, so make your banana ice cream and make these cookies that are on the bag.
Yeah.
And then you'll get your little fix, but without any sugar,
Mhm.
added sugar. You know, you're just getting the natural food.
You know, and berries are excellent. If
Yes.
you're eating out.
I've been doing
You know,
lots
because
of
my
berries.
daughter has a severe dairy allergy, so almost no dessert eating out can she have.
Mhm.
So her choice is always, you know, they bring her fresh mixed berries.
Mhm.
And it works out well, and it's a really good option.
Yeah.
And you can, you know, almost all restaurants will have that, because they're using it in something.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask the restaurants to cook things differently or substitute ingredients, because as long as they have it, they'll do it. I do it to Panera Bread all the time too. I'm like, make my salad with all spinach. I don't care, you know, whatever salad it is, just make it with all spinach. Put my dressing on the side. I'm sensitive to chicken, and all their salads have chicken on it, so I say use the roasted turkey instead. Totally fine.
Yeah.
When I'm traveling's another big trigger of what am I going to do when I'm at the airport, or what kind of food are they going to have when I'm there. I always bring food with me
Something,
anytime
yeah.
I travel. So again, a lot of the protein sources that are in the airports are all chicken, and for me that's a problem. So I will carry tuna packets with me. They don't need to be refrigerated. They don't take up any space. And I'll just use that as my protein on top of the salad that I get at the airport. So I always have that with me. I'll always carry usually apples with me too, because bananas will, you know, get bruised, but apples are pretty sturdy and handle and hold up well in a carry-on. So I'll always have tuna packets with me. I'll always have my apples. Nuts are a good option to have. Seeds are good to have with you. I bring protein with me because I do a protein shake after my workouts. That's when I do my protein. So I'll have a protein shake after my workouts, so I'll bring protein powder with me. That's also the same powder I'll throw in my oatmeal in the morning for extra protein.
Now, is that similar to that big jar we got?
Yeah, I know. You can either put it in little baggies, or some of the proteins have, like I have just,
unit packets. too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
And you have the protein shake stuff,
Mhm.
okay.
So this is all stuff that takes up no room in your suitcase. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. It won't go bad. It'll last your whole trip. And then they're healthy snacks you can have when you're on your trip too.
Mhm.
So in the morning at breakfast, I usually take, you know, those little peanut butter tubs they usually have at restaurants, like jelly, but it's peanut butter. I'll grab some of those just to take to the room. So if I need a snack later, I have my apple in the room already, and I can dip it in the peanut butter.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to take stuff from breakfast that morning back to your room for later. So I'll do that as well. So if you guys are ever going on a trip, or you've got a party coming up and you're a little bit worried about staying on track and want little tips on what to do or better options to choose when you're at a restaurant, reach out to one of us. Tana lives this lifestyle too and eats the same way. So she's got a lot of good suggestions as well.
We have to practice what we preach.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we really do. And the impact of, you know, eating poorly versus eating well is huge.
Mhm.
The exercise impact is huge. And it really, once you get into doing that and it becomes your habit, then you don't stray from it, because the benefits are so amazing, you're not going to go back. You don't want to feel the way you felt before. You want to remain strong. You don't want to, you know, become weak and then debilitated and so forth. You don't want to go down that road, and you have an option. So you take that option and you stick with it.
Because you remember how good you feel when you were doing it,
Yeah.
and where you want to be, and why you're doing it. That's the big. Identify your why and keep that in your mind and keep referring back to it. And if your why is powerful enough, I guarantee you, you won't want to go back.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to talk about protein supplements?
Yeah, the supplements. Over time, we won't keep you on all the supplements we put you on.
Wow, good. I tell
Really?
you what, 3 glasses of water to get everything done.
You're getting hydrated.
Huge boxes for
Yeah.
So what the aim of the supplements is to replete nutrients, and we did that nutritional analysis so that we know who was deficient in what, and we're trying to replete certain things. Ultimately, what we want is you guys to have a good, healthy protein source. I would want you to continue bone broth because the benefits to the gut and the joints and the bones and the skin are tremendous. So the bone broth is extremely valuable, and then a ton of fruits and vegetables. Some people like doing that veggie powder, and that's fine. But if I'd rather you eat 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. Okay, you can make some of these into purees, juicing, right? Juicing and
Throw them in your smoothies.
Smoothies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as you do those, you want to get your nutrients there, We can take the turmeric and throw a little olive oil and black pepper with it, and you can use that instead of you taking turmeric capsules and things of that nature. And so ultimately, we want to cut that out. We don't want to replace all the medicines with supplements. The supplements are to replete and get rid of the deficiencies, and then we want you to do this through that change in diet. So that bone broth is really very, very useful. And so I've been seeking out powders so that it's kind of basically a bone broth powder that you can throw into your smoothie or whatever. That makes it easier if you can't make it. But you can, I think Brenda's an expert on the bone broth.
Yes, I brought some turkey broth to work today, and I put it in the cooler on the shelf, and one of the guys turns around and goes, "Whoa, that looks a little dangerous." I said, "No, it's really good."
That's right. If you make it with chicken feet, it's extra good.
Yeah.
You'll just have to supply everybody's chicken feet.
Yes.
I'm not
I
a
can't
bone
get
broth
rid of that
person.
visual.
The powder broth might be easier
Yeah, I
for you
think
to
it
swallow.
would.
Especially, yeah.
You just put it into your smoothie, you won't even know
Yeah.
it's there.
No.
Because the benefits to your skin, to your gut, to your joints are just enormous. Okay?
Yeah.
So then you can replace your glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, right? All of that stuff.
So
with-
when do you think you're gonna have that in? I forgot to say something to Nicole.
Yeah, we have ordered it. It should be hopefully within a week because it was back ordered, so it looks like lots of people are into it right now. So we will let you know. If you let Nicole know, say, hey, call me when you get the bone broth in. Then she keeps a list and then she'll call you. Okay, so those are the kind of things. A cranberry drink is another very useful thing. You don't need much cranberry. If you get that concentrate, a couple of tablespoons is fine. Lemon juice is really key. We do that. We squeeze out a full lemon each. I dilute mine. I'll put water with it. My husband likes his straight. That is good. Or you can take, the lemon juice, add it with a little cranberry flavor, add your water,
Little vodka.
little vodka, apple cider vinegar, right? That really is good, and it really seems to cut the sugar cravings. And if sugar cravings are still an issue, there are some other options. Vitamin C powder works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Glutamine works for a
Glutamine,
lot of
yes.
people.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then that cranberry drink works for a lot of people. It has that tartness. Tartness comes from vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid molecule looks a lot like glucose. So I don't know if your little sugar craving receptors in there get a little confused and they get satisfied with a little vitamin C. Okay, but vitamin C is much better for you. It's really good for the skin as well. Collagen formation. C is an important
That's what I need.
factor. That's what you need. So lots of sources of C. So fruits and vegetables, because when we take supplements, these are things that have been prepared, concentrated, right? But if we can get this out of foods, then it's in the background with whatever cofactors that God knows we need. We don't even maybe know that. So that's your ultimate best source. So over time, we want to cut the supplements down. And once we've met the deficiencies and so forth. Really got to, it's a whole shift in your lifestyle, and you got to take care of your body. You know, up until, you know, our 20s, we can neglect and abuse our bodies and live on cigarettes and beer. But you know, it doesn't, the body's not gonna last. You gotta exercise it, you gotta work it, you gotta use the brain, or the brain doesn't work, right? Doing puzzles, all kinds of things that are stimulating for the brain.
Trying to help your kids with their high school homework.
Yeah, I tell
High
them,
school,
let's-
man, even the 5th grade math, whew, has me.
Do you
Going
remember how to
crazy.
do calculus?
I know.
I made it to 10th grade. After that, I couldn't help them anymore, but I made it to 10th. That was the end. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go talk to your teacher. So, but absolutely, you know, the Sudokus are really nice. So,
I
all
don't
of
know
that
why I
stuff.
even like that spider solitaire. It's like mindless almost. It makes me relax, but yet you're
Mhm.
still doing the strategies of which one to take. And
It's a meditation.
it seems like
It's
it.
a
You know, the
meditation.
kids
So
make
the
fun of me,
relaxation
but
is
Yeah.
good.
it really
Yeah.
helps me
Yeah.
calm down.
Calm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so it's a meditation for you. So anything can be a meditation. Knitting, crocheting can be meditation. Right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, knitting, not me. I lose stitches and go crazy.
But we'll get more into that, and then kind of go from there. Have you guys been through the binder? Have you read it?
Mhm.
Yes.
I haven't made it all the way,
I
but I've
haven't
gone
been all
through
the
a
way
lot of
through
it.
either.
Okay.
It's
So,
a lot of
you know,
stuff.
It's a
It
lot.
is.
Yes,
Mhm.
Right.
and you can't get it all at once. You have to
No, you need to
Yeah.
take breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Otherwise you don't
It's
retain
not
it.
a novel. You don't want
No,
to read
yes,
it
keep,
through.
just
Yeah.
keep going, yeah.
Yeah, you pick up a section, like when you
Mhm.
pick up on exercise, one day you might want to just read the section on aerobic exercise, and then one day you might even want to break up the resistance, because that really gets into some length. And the same thing with the nutrition diet section. You're not going to finish that all, you don't want
No.
to, or you will miss
Yes, yeah.
a ton of stuff. So you want to go with little pieces. You know, when you read about the sleep, you realize how critical the sleep is, you know. And that's why we really try and make sure sleep is right. If there's apnea, it's treated, because it really impacts everything else. So all of that becomes a key. And then as we do this, you know, once you optimize the diet and the exercise and we get the stress under control, then our hormones kind of fall into place.
That would be good.
Should we get more input from you along the way, or is it just this 1 month of classes and then that's?
No, you guys, and you guys are not availing this as much as you can and should, is pop us an email, we will reply. We had some trouble with the Outlook earlier, but we've now got this one thing, so any thought, any question, whatever comes up, okay, you know, please send it through, okay? If you need to sit down and discuss things, we can book an appointment, all right? So absolutely. I don't have a preset number, it's just basically what you think you need, and then we kind of plan. If you need a phone call, say, hey, I got, 5 or 10 questions, and then we'll set up a time and we'll talk on the phone.
Because even like a FAQ would be nice, because I'm sure you guys have already thought of some questions, but I haven't gotten that far yet. It'd be kind of nice to just see what's been asked and answered, or something.
Absolutely, so,
I don't know if we could even do that on that Facebook account.
absolutely, I think you can, absolutely. I think we need to use that Facebook more, and I think we were doing it as, by groups, but I think let's just combine everybody into one group, so the ones that are ahead can help the ones that aren't quite at that level yet.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be nice, and especially with the recipes and,
Yeah.
I tried
Yes,
this
let's-
flavor's
Let's
really
do
good
that,
on
we'll
that.
make
or-
that, so
Yeah.
you can just post on that, right? And then we'll be checking it, and so if you guys put questions in there, that's fine. If you want something individual that you don't want it to go to everybody,
Then
email it,
That makes
Okay.
sense.
right? But if you're looking for input from other people too, then yeah, let's start using that Facebook.
I think that'd be nice, yeah, because the
Yeah.
group has a lot to offer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that, and we can do that tomorrow. We'll not do individual groups, but everybody, and you guys know the Facebook page, so just start putting your thoughts on it, suggestions, right? Hey, this really worked for me, or Anybody got any ideas with this? And then, and Tana and I will be reviewing that, and we will put suggestions in and stuff. And as I said, use that email and ask us. Okay? And then again, if we need a phone call, then let's do that.
Yeah, but it's important to know that just because the classes are over doesn't mean your experience and
because the
your
program continues.
and our availability changes in any way. So we just wanted to get the classes in quick enough so that you had all the tools you needed to complete the program.
Right.
So
We want to give you that basic information, so now you can start using it, and as you start implementing it and you have issues, then that's what we're there for.
and that's usually what happens is once you start doing it yourself and implementing it into your everyday routine, that's when you realize, oh, I've got some obstacles or some things blocking my success, and I could really use some help or suggestions on how to get through it.
Like this
So-
was just so overwhelming to start with.
Yes.
That I think if I went through the classes a second time, then I could
And you
get
can.
more because my mind
Yes,
has
absolutely.
already
You can
started to
welcome
adjust to
Yeah,
it. You know?
and you guys are welcome to come back to,
Okay, that'd be great.
yeah. so.
Especially that cooking class, because I know this next
Yeah.
cooking class she was going to use different ingredients and use some more fall ingredients with this next
Oh,
one.
okay.
So you're welcome
Yeah,
to
so
come
you're
to the
welcome,
next one as
absolutely.
well.
Yeah, totally.
Try some different
Yeah.
recipes, maybe taste some new foods that you haven't tried yet. So
Yeah.
So Krista, shoot us an email. You're gonna want the schedule for October.
I think she
Think she
gave it
has
to
it.
me. Yeah.
Okay,
but if you
already
don't
got
have it
that.
anymore, let me know.
No, I
Alright,
have it
okay.
here.
Alright. And then we'll get in touch with you tomorrow about the labs.
Actually, I'll be in Cincinnati, but
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
take my son down to see the school.
Okay, then
I'll be
you
back
call.
on Monday.
Okay, alright, and then we'll touch base Monday. Alright.
Okay. That and apnea too, to get that machine adjusted and stuff. I wasn't quite sure what we were doing with that.
Alright, well, let's just talk on the phone tomorrow then,
Okay.
so we get that fixed up, alright? Why don't you give a call tomorrow, it's a pretty flexible time for me, just call the office. I
Okay.
will be there in the morning until kind of early afternoon,
Okay.
alright? So then we'll go through all the individual things,
That's good. Thank you.
alright? I think everybody, let's see, you I saw today, and then you should have an appointment
Next.
coming up,
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah,
soon.
second, I think.
alright? And then I don't know when yours is.
Second's a
Next.
Sunday.
The second's a Sunday,
Yeah.
so it's not a Sunday.
Next Thursday.
Okay,
was-
yeah, yeah.
But it's coming. It's coming.
Let's get to
It's
tomorrow
written
though about
down.
those issues, 'cause I don't wanna delay them to the appointment, alright? So
I-
let's address them.
Would it be okay if I just did it on Monday instead of tomorrow?
That's
I'm just
fine.
not sure
That's
with
fine.
driving down there. How,
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that Monday.
But for those patients who have followed this program consistently, have had some amazing success stories
Amazing.
already.
Amazing.
And it's only in just a short amount of time.
Yeah.
In a 3-month period, there's been some amazing success stories for those who have actually followed the program and implemented everything that we're bringing to them. Now, not everybody is fully compliant with it, so the level of success is obviously different for those. So it's just how much you want to put into it, and it's ultimately your responsibility and your own accountability that's gonna decide how much
Right.
you
But,
change
you know,
and how
reach
much you
out,
succeed.
email
That
the
would be nice to
questions.
hear
So-
too, you know, if somebody's willing to post that or.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
So-
encouraging when you're struggling.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think we've made everybody aware of the Facebook page, but we need to get everybody to start utilizing
Just
it.
tell the story of that, look at this, our patient who had difficulty going upstairs.
Right, she couldn't walk straight upstairs, they lived in a split level, so they had to go on stairs for everything. She had to go up sideways, so one foot, bring the other one up, this foot, that foot.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so going on the elimination diet, and I took her nightshades out as well, because she had this hip pain, it was really limiting. She just runs up the stairs.
Wow.
Wow.
So I had to kind of push her to do the challenges, but I feel so good, I don't want to mess up it. Okay, so, and she's in her 70s.
Wow.
Okay, so the inflammation on the body is huge. And again, what we wanna do is we don't wanna take away any more foods than we have to. We wanna identify which foods are the problem. And the way we do that is by reintroducing. And if you're not sure, you take it out again, and then you reintroduce one at a time. Because sometimes, you know, other things happen. You're like, well, was it because I ate the corn or was it because of something else? You know, it's because I fell down the previous day. So those kind of things.
I have a funny thing happen to me. Mainly why I did this is sport K, as I probably told you, and find out about my skin.
Yes.
Well, I weighed 185 pounds, now I'm down to 170, which is good, I guess. But I find out if I stand up too fast, I'm a little bit dizzy.
Are you on
So-
blood pressure medicine?
Yeah,
Maybe you need less
10.
blood pressure medicine.
only 10 lisinopril, though. That's
Yeah, but
pretty-
maybe you don't
That's
need it
what I
anymore.
Maybe I don't need
You're
any.
on
If you
20.
would have come for the appointment today, we would have checked that out.
So, that's a possibility.
That's a possibility,
Wow.
okay? So our aims with this program are nothing less than to try and get you off of some of these medications. Okay? So it can be everything from antidepressants to antihypertensives for blood pressure to cholesterol medications to diabetic medications. Okay? So we want to taper those off. So when you lose weight, your blood pressure goes down naturally, you don't need blood pressure medicine. So you won't be getting lightheaded anymore.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay? So we need to check your pressure and see what's going on with it.
Well, I just had my yearly checks with both my regular MD and my cardiologist, and my blood pressure was great with both of them, but it has never been out of line, you know.
Well, we will do like a positional assessment on you, okay?
Okay.
So, so we're in the morning, if you wanna stop by, we can check that. Or sometime next week, we can coordinate through Nicole,
All right.
okay? So you let us know, but yeah, absolutely. So any kind of changes like that, you need to let me know so I can help figure out what's going on.
It'd be
Right, so-
nice to.
So
get
please
the
reach
alcohol.
out, as I said, you know, we don't have to just do the visits, we can do more visits, we can call, okay, we can iron things out. What's been restrictive is really the, your all's availability,
Yeah.
okay? So, you know, we're there to give you more, but you guys have to kind of
Yeah.
be available for it. And so the more you know, invest into it, the more you're gonna get out of it.
Sounds good.
All right.
And do you think it was odd though? I thought it was odd with because I was expecting a stomach thing or gut thing with the gluten.
Yeah, not at all.
It was like this
Yeah.
headache.
No.
And you know what's weird? I have a friend of mine, no stomach issues whatsoever, but when she took gluten out and then introduced it back, she has knee swelling. Knee swelling with the
Wow.
gluten.
Yeah, gluten can
So everyone's
cause
different,
any
yeah.
effect.
Wow.
As I said, everything from the gut issues to the ataxia, the brain issues. Headaches is another big one with gluten. Gluten and dairy both and headaches.
Okay.
Debilitating headaches that nothing works for, not even Topamax. Okay? You know, and the cool thing is, that's why that elimination diet is so important, and to do it properly. And, you know, and I customize for everybody because, you know, I expect certain people are gonna have trouble. So some people get a little stricter elimination. I don't want you to eat any grains, I don't want you to eat any legumes, and I don't want you to eat any nightshades, you know. But that's how you're gonna know. That's really the best test. Because we know which are the top offenders, right, for the foods. There's a great little coffee shop down in Canton, the
4Kids.
Four Kids Coffee. Their daughter was allergic to all of the main food allergens. So they have it so that everything they serve does not include the 8 main food allergens.
Wow.
That's gotta
So
be hard.
soy-free,
Wow.
dairy-free,
Yeah.
gluten-free, nut.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, what the heck do they put in there?
Really? So what are they serving?
Right? Yeah, so, yeah, they have all these cute little desserts, and they have, you know, little wraps, and there's a bean and rice thing for lunch, and they have wraps that are dairy-free, gluten-free, and all that kind of stuff.
I wonder if they're any good.
They are.
They are.
They are.
They are.
Oh, they're really good.
Yeah.
What's it called?
4 Kids Coffee. It's right across from Altman North. Almost right across from it.
Used to be a hot tub club, didn't it? Not that I went there.
There was a salon.
No, I think it was.
Wow, okay.
Was that? I thought there was a salon there.
There was one on that road.
Yeah.
I thought a hot tub club.
Well, that's why it took you so long to get home.
Now we know.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, so we wanted to get the classes in, so we got you guys the foundations, so you can start making the changes, because, you know, by the end of the 6 months, I want to see a lot of changes. Right? But I got to give you the information with which to make the changes, and so, you know, we gotta progress along. And so, yeah, any time you want to drop in on a follow-up class, you're welcome to come back. Okay. And I have another great idea for something new, but we'll invite you guys all to that once we get that going.
I guess I'm gonna have to do Facebook, huh?
Yes, you are. Yes,
I've been resisting that.
it's fun.
Or you can just reach out via email.
Just
when you
email.
need it.
Yeah.
I might as well see what everybody else is
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
You could be a creeper.
You know, and it's pretty, and Tana puts all kind of cool things on it. No, I think it's.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just got on it this year myself too, so I'm a beginner at
I'm
it.
on and off of it. It's just time. You know, people that get on it, it's just like,
Oh, yeah, like
you know,
they
they post,
live on it.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Had pizza for dinner. It's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, but people find it a good way to connect. You know, if you've got family, you know, in Europe or somewhere, you know,
Mhm.
it's really nice to connect.
But some people will get on there and say, well, I'm on the way to here and there, and then their house gets robbed.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you
Yes,
gotta think
that's
about
right.
what you're putting on.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Absolutely. So you have to watch. And these days, there's just so many scams.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. All right, any other thoughts or, so please reach out.
So nutrition seems to be a big thing. So if you guys have guests coming in from out of town and want an idea for a nice restaurant to take them to that's got some good options, healthier options for you, reach out to us. We've got some good ideas. If there's a particular sweet or craving you have you just can't get away from, reach out to us. We'll suggest something that's similar but healthy. So don't be afraid to ask.
I've been trying to quit those Baby Ruth candy bars.
I have a craving for something sweet and then I eat it and it's like, wow, it's really not that good.
Yeah.
So,
That's I'm noticing even what I'm doing already. Things taste different.
yeah.
You know, it's like,
When you make that
wow.
change,
Yeah,
so.
I didn't like that. You know,
Yeah.
I used to like it.
So again, that cranberry drink will help the cravings.
You know what we've been doing that.
And the, good, and the vitamin C, and then again, I would really reinforce with you, so when we get that bone broth thing, get that going, because I think it just, the benefits are tremendous.
I think that'll be much easier for you guys too.
It'll be much easier than swallowing a ton of pills too,
Yeah.
so, let's do
Yes.
that.
I think Brenda and her chicken feet.
Oh, come on. I told you the toenails were clean.
But thank you all.
Thank
All right.
you.
Okay,
Thank you. It's excellent.